Hello everyone, Bob Believes Around the World. This is going to be a quick video setting the bar straight on something very important because it's a very hot summer day and my filming studio is in a car, so naturally it is really hot in here. Now, what I want to set the bar straight on is one of the sources that I used in my big Unmasking the Edomites lesson that I posted a few months ago. Now, one of the sources I used in that lesson was a source describing Herod Antipas as a gross and swarthy creature. A lot of you guys will remember that. Now, before I get into details about where that source comes from and how old it is, I would just like to talk about the unfair standard that us Hebrews are held to, or not even just us Hebrews, but anybody of any nation who serves the Most High Yah and dwells in His covenant. Because you can go on YouTube and see tons of historical lessons that different YouTubers have done, and in their lesson they use pictures like these Renaissance paintings from the Renaissance era, and a lot of those people weren't even Japhetic. They were actually Afro-Asiatic Moorish people. So the pictures they are using are completely fake and are Renaissance, recreations, of the people portraying those historical figures in their own image, not what they actually looked like. And in the Christian community, it's common for people to depict our Messiah, Yahusha, as that white Eurocentric Japhethite man that is so popular in the Christian church, what was it, the Pope's boy, whoever he was, all right? So basically what I'm getting at is there's so many people out there from the sons and daughters of Japheth who don't know how to research and use fake sources that don't agree with the history. Now, the source I used about Herod Antipas being a gross and swarthy creature, I found in an old newspaper from the 20th century. Now, I recently found out that that old newspaper clipping is actually from a novel book from the 20th century, all right? And people want to discredit, my source because it's from a novel. But here's the difference. The source I used, it be a novel or not, holds true to the source material. For example, if you read a novel book about Donald Trump and it describes Donald Trump as a white man with blonde hair, and then you look at real pictures of Donald Trump and he's a white man with blonde hair, that source is legitimate because, yeah, it may be a dramatized novel, but it holds true to the source material. Now, these Christians and other sons and daughters of Japheth be using modern sources that don't hold true to the source material. So it is illegitimate and it's not a good claim to attack me for using a book that's a novel and a history lesson when that novel holds true to the source material. Man, I'm sweating already. Now, how do we know that it holds true to the source material and it's not just a made-up source by an angry black man, trying to steal, your Japheth history? How do I know that? Well, in that same lesson, we looked at the ancient depictions of the Hebrew Edomites in the Negro Question from the Roman era of the New Testament. And Archaeophilos, the Edomite, was depicted on that Roman era coin as being an Afro-Asiatic man, not a Eurocentric son of Japheth. All right? Why is this important? How does this prove that the novel book holds true to the source material and therefore is, legitimate? Well, Archaeophilos was the brother to Herod Antipas. All right? So we see that Archaeophilos was a so-called black man. And he was Edomite black man. And his brother was Herod Antipas. And the novel described Herod Antipas as a swarthy man with flat nostrils, describing Afro-Asiatic features. And that's Herod Antipas. And when we look at that historical sources, this is not a novel now, this is real history, real historical history. He is described, Archaeophilos is depicted as an Afro-Asiatic man, and Antipas is his brother. So based on knowing that his brother is a black man, we already know, based on that Antipas was a black man too. You see? So, the devil and the people, the sons and daughters of the devil be trying to bring us guys and, us sons and daughters of the covenant down over everything. You know what I'm saying? Because these Christians can get up there and use a Renaissance portrait of the Messiah from the 1700s as evidence for the Messiah being a Japhethite. They can do that. But if I use a book that turns out to be a novel, yeah, it's a novel, but it holds true to the source material. Because when we go into the history, the description that it gives for Herod Antipas matches the historical description that we see on ancient depiction of his brother, Archaeoplos. All right?